Welcome to the finale. We have talked about every other day, the most underrated Pokemon of every generation. And we are talking about the most underrated legendaries today. The reason why legendaries were not on any of these lists before. One, because they were legendaries, but two, because they have their own category. If you have not done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, guys. We are pushing for 1,000. I can count. I can do math. All right. And the way we do that is by everyone subscribing right now. So let's go ahead and let's do the most underrated legendary Pokemon right now. Most underrated legendary of Gen 1 is Zapdos. Unlike its others, Zapdos gets Drill Peck, which is incredibly strong and the best flying type move in Generation 1. And because of Drill Peck, he's underrated because most Gen 1 flying types don't get much. And he also gets Thunderbolt, just to add to it. Zapdos is great. Gen 2, most underrated, Celebi. Grass Psychic. Grass Psychic. A typing that we don't see for quite some time afterwards. However, incredibly strong offensively. And if this Pokemon wasn't so hard to find and so obscure in its own game to the point where no one really has a legitimate Celebi, except for, I believe, over in Japan, some people have them because that's where they released him, you hardly ever use this thing, me included. But I've seen gameplay. This thing helps a lot. Gen 3. I like that they have the Shadow Lugia in there. It's Jirachi. Jirachi is Psychic and Steel. And you look at this thing and you think it's this tiny little fairy that you can just destroy. Nope! This thing takes at least 15 hits to kill no matter what you're using on it. Nobody knows why it's so bulky, but it is. You can build it physically, you can build it specially, you can give it defensive moves, you can give it offensive moves, you can give it cosmic power, stored power, you can give it calm mind, you can give it so many things that boost both its offensive and defensive abilities. Jirachi is incredibly underrated, and if you ever get one, use it. Use it. Trust me. Use it. Gen 4. What are you doing back there, Maya? She's out. She is sleeping. I don't know. Heatran's so good competitively. Manaphy has Tail Glow. Darkrai has the Shadow thing. What's it called? Shadow Force? Shadow Force? Shadow Force? I think it's called Shadow Force. Oh, I sound so off on that, don't I? Arceus is Arceus. Giratina is Giratina. I'm going to put this one in here. I think this one's Azelf? Mesprit? This one's Mesprit, I think. I'll tell you right now, out of the three that look like Mew 3, Mew 4, and Mew 5, those three, I don't know the names of each one. I'm just going to say collectively that all three of them are underrated because everything else is really good. And these things are basically just a slightly nerfed version of Mew. That's basically what I have to say about them. That's what they are. That's why they're Mew 3, Mew 4, and Mew 5. And I'm just going to say all three of them collectively are in this spot. Gen 5. V-Create is a really strong move. It is so strong and so fast. And that is the only reason why Victini is even a relevant Pokemon. V-Create is an amazing move. Do not sleep on V-Create. If you are watching right now, comment it. Do not sleep on V-Create. Alrighty. Next up, for Gen 6. Unfortunately for us, everything's overpowered in Gen 6. So we're going to say Volcanion because it was a fire-water type. A typing nobody thought they could pull off, and then they just throw Volcanion out there. Fire water. fire, water. I love it. Excellent typing. Gen 7. Tapu Bulu might just be so underrated that people don't even know how to use him. Being both grass and fairy gives you all of the fairy firepower and resistances and ability to take out dragons, and draining moves like Horn Leech, which also play in with Grassy Surge, his ability. This thing's awesome. Tapu Bulu does a lot of really, really good things for you against so many different types. And I know I say it does a lot of good things for you in just about every one of these explanations. That's because they're not scripted, and I just kind of go for it. But at the end of the day, Tapu Bulu. That's my guy. All right, that's my guy. Gen 8. I'm going to have to go into these Galarian ones probably. Just looking at some of these. No, I don't. It's Enamorus. Enamorus was the Pokemon no one asked for, but everybody liked. They added another Tornadus variant, and Enamorus was what they chose. And I actually liked it. I thought giving another fairy type legendary was actually needed. We didn't have a lot of them. And I thought this was really fitting. Enamorus, welcome to the list. And for Gen 9. For Gen 9, as I creak back in my chair, Generation 9 is Ogerpon. Listen, I am speaking for the people like myself who refuse to pay an extra $20 to $30 for a game they already paid $60 for. I did not buy the Scarlet and Violet DLC because what Nintendo should do after I pay $60 for their game is they shouldn't be money hungry, and they should give me the rest of the game instead of holding it from us and then making you pay more money for it. No, I'm not paying half the game. I'm not paying half the game's value for an extra 2 hours of content. I'm not doing that. It is such a waste of time and money, big time. So I'm speaking for people like me who have logic financially, or mommy and daddy aren't buying them games, because I'm sure there's a lot of children out there that probably aren't watching this video, but mommy and daddy are buying them everything they ask for. And that is what it is sometimes, right? But at the end of the day, when I go into Pokemon Showdown and I see Ogerpon, this guy one-shots me every single time. He one-shots me every single time. I'm like, who decided that this could be a Pokemon? Who created this? Who decided that this was completely fine to have in a game? But the thing is, I didn't know, and I'm sure a lot of you guys who didn't play the DLC didn't know either what this thing was capable of until you saw it with your own eyes. With your own eyes. And you know what? If they make Ogerpon available in Generation 10 or in Legends EA, I'll use it and I'll see. But otherwise, yeah, I didn't even see that thing being that effective. And that's why it's the most underrated. You know what? Just gonna put it on there. That's why it's the most underrated. It is most underrated without question. Without question. Okay, so that's our list. Zapdos, Celebi. Oh gosh, what's your name? Jirachi. I think this one's Mesprit, but it's going to be Mesprit, Uxie, and Azelf. It's all three. Victini, Volcanion, Tapu Bulu, Enamorus, Ogerpon, and Ogerpon. That's the list. Thank you guys for watching this series. I did want to take a minute and thank you guys for the support. We have been, I think the last month, we've been up about 50, 60 subscribers, and that's me talking as I'm recording this, and I think this video probably comes out in like February, so it's probably a lot more since then, but I'll give some updated analytics when we hit 1,000, and I think there's a chance we're already there by the time this video's out. If we're not, go down there and hit subscribe. It would mean a lot to me, and I am going to have to take some time and think about what we're going to do next, because you know me, I kind of just do a style of video for a while until I get bored with it, then I switch to something else. I might have some other stuff thrown in the interim. We'll see. I've been uploading every other day for quite some time now without missing that. So I'm going to try to stick to it so long as I enjoy doing so. So thank you guys again, and I will see you in the next video for something different. And again, really appreciate your support, and we'll see you guys soon.